Have you ever paused to consider how to respond when someone disrespects you in public or cracks a joke meant to embarrass you? How can we earn respect from those who seem to thrive on demeaning others? And how do we handle people who try to make us feel small? In this video, we'll dive into effective psychological tactics to help you navigate these moments with confidence. By the end, you'll discover exactly how to transform awkward situations into opportunities for earning respect. Stay with us to unlock the full potential of these strategies. Let's start by understanding why these situations happen. Often, the issue isn't personal hostility but a calculated attempt to gain the upper hand. Certain individuals, motivated by self-interest, use others as stepping stones to boost their own image. This pattern is common in social circles, workplaces, and even family gatherings. Some people see others not as equals but as tools for their own advantage. To avoid being drawn into this dynamic, we must set the tone for how we expect to be treated. Respect isn't about demanding submission or exerting control. It's about ensuring that no one diminishes your worth to elevate their own. Sometimes it may even involve stepping away from environments that fail to appreciate you. However, we believe prevention is better than reaction, and this video will arm you with actionable tips to handle these situations before they escalate. We'll share insights into standing your ground, maintaining dignity, and earning admiration in any setting, be it professional, social, or personal. These tools will help you not just survive such encounters but emerge stronger. Before we continue, support our channel by liking this video and subscribing. Your encouragement helps us bring you more valuable content. Now, let's get started with the first key strategy. First tip: first impressions matter. When meeting someone for the first time, the impression we leave can define how the relationship unfolds. The initial moments of interaction hold power. A handshake, a smile, and eye contact all combine to send a strong message. Standing up to greet someone not only demonstrates respect, but also puts both individuals on equal footing, avoiding any perception of dominance or submission. Remaining seated during a greeting, however casual the setting, creates an imbalance. When the other person stands over us, it can unintentionally convey submission. This small oversight may weaken our position before we've even had a chance to speak. To make the right impression, we should rise to meet the other person, signaling readiness and confidence. One frequent misstep is allowing our eyes to drift toward the other person's hand during a handshake. It might feel instinctive to look at the hands as they approach, but this subtle motion can lower our head slightly, altering the energy of the interaction. Even small details like this can inadvertently communicate hesitation or insecurity. Contact, on the other hand, creates a sense of trust and connection. By focusing on the other person's eyes as we greet them, we establish an immediate rapport. This simple yet effective action speaks volumes about our self-assurance and interest in the individual we're meeting. It says, "We see you, we value this moment, and we're engaged." Body language, though silent, is deeply communicative. Standing upright and maintaining good posture while extending a firm handshake ensures that our nonverbal cues align with our words. These gestures collectively convey confidence, respect, and approachability. They prepare the foundation for meaningful conversations and future connections. What we do in those fleeting seconds matters more than we realize. From the firmness of the handshake to the directness of our gaze, each action sends a signal. When done right, these signals can set a positive tone for the rest of the interaction. They help us leave a lasting impression that's both strong and favorable. Creating a strong first impression is a skill that can be honed with deliberate attention to detail. Here are some essential tips to leave a positive and memorable impact. Pay attention to your appearance. First impressions often begin before you say a word, so dress appropriately for the situation. Choose attire that reflects the setting, whether professional or casual, and make sure it's neat and well-fitted. Personal grooming is equally important. Cleanliness and tidiness show respect for yourself and others. Your appearance is a reflection of how seriously you take the interaction. Greet with confidence. A firm handshake paired with a warm smile can instantly set the tone for a positive meeting. Stand up to greet others, showing that you're engaged and respectful. This small act places both people on equal footing, avoiding any unintended dominance or submissiveness. A confident greeting communicates that you value the moment. Maintain eye contact. Contact is one of the most powerful tools in creating trust and connection. When meeting someone, look directly into their eyes to show attentiveness and sincerity. Avoid looking at your hands or around the room, as this can appear distracted or disinterested. Balance is key. Maintain natural, steady eye contact without making it feel forced or intense. Practice active listening. Good first impressions aren't just about what you say, they're about how well you listen. Show genuine interest in the other person by asking questions and responding thoughtfully. Avoid interrupting and give them your full attention. When people feel heard, they are more likely to remember you positively. Use positive body language. Your body language communicates just as much as your words. Stand or sit with a straight posture and keep your gestures open and relaxed. Avoid crossing your arms, which can come across as defensive. Lean in slightly when the other person speaks to show engagement and interest, but be mindful of their personal space. Speak clearly and warmly. The way you speak leaves a lasting impression. Use a clear, calm voice to convey confidence and avoid speaking too fast, which can make you seem nervous. Choose your words carefully, aiming for kindness and positivity. Avoid excessive filler words like or you know, which can detract from your message. Show authenticity and kindness. Be genuine in your interactions. Authenticity is memorable and helps build trust. Avoid exaggerating or pretending to be someone you're not. People appreciate honesty and sincerity. A kind comment or a thoughtful compliment can go a long way in making others feel valued and comfortable. Leave with gratitude. End the interaction on a strong note. Express gratitude for their time or insight, leaving a lasting impression of politeness and appreciation. A simple thank you, "It was great meeting you," can help ensure they remember you positively. Walking away with a smile reinforces the connection and leaves the door open for future opportunities. Of course, it's not just about how we present ourselves, but also how we make the other person feel. A warm and genuine smile, coupled with attentive body language, creates an atmosphere of mutual respect and ease. When others feel comfortable around us, they are more likely to remember us positively. In the art of introductions, small adjustments can make a significant impact. Standing, making eye contact, and avoiding unnecessary distractions show that we're present and intentional. Second tip: navigating interruptions in public conversations. Public conversations often bring unexpected challenges, including interruptions. When faced with such moments, a composed yet assertive response can turn the situation in your favor. One effective strategy is to meet the interrupter's eyes with a firm and confident gaze. This nonverbal cue communicates authority and subtly informs them that their action was inappropriate without escalating the tension. Following this initial gesture, it's essential to reclaim your position in the conversation. Polite yet assertive phrases such as "May I continue?" or "Shall we return to my point?" work wonders in redirecting attention. These expressions exude both confidence and respect, making it clear that interruptions disrupt the natural flow of discussion and that you value a respectful exchange of ideas. Our neighbor, Christina, is always eager to share her thoughts, often without realizing she's cutting others off. One afternoon, we were hosting a small gathering in our backyard, discussing plans for a local charity event. As we were outlining the goals, Christina suddenly jumped in with an enthusiastic comment about a completely unrelated topic, her recent trip to a vineyard. The interruption was jarring. It disrupted the flow of the conversation, and for a moment the group fell silent, unsure of how to proceed. Rather than respond with frustration or allow the discussion to spiral, we chose a calmer approach. With a gentle but firm look, we met Christina's gaze. It wasn't aggressive, but it clearly conveyed that her interruption had shifted the dynamic in an unintended direction. Christina paused, noticing the subtle change in the room. She seemed to realize that her timing wasn't ideal. With a slight tilt of her head, she stopped talking, giving us the space to reclaim the floor. With a friendly smile, we said, "Christina, that sounds wonderful, but may I finish sharing these details first? We'd love to hear more about your trip afterward." The request was polite but direct, signaling that the conversation needed to return to its original course. Christina gave a small nod, her cheeks flushing with a touch of embarrassment. "Of course, go ahead," she said, stepping back to let the group refocus. Conversation flowed smoothly again, and everyone, including Christina, seemed more engaged with the topic at hand. There was no tension, no raised voices, just a quiet, effective shift that kept the discussion on track. Later, as the event planning discussion wound down, Christina came over to thank us. "I didn't realize I was interrupting," she confessed, "but I'm glad you handled it the way you did. I'll be more mindful next time." The interaction left us both feeling positive, knowing that the conversation hadn't been derailed by a small slip. Instead, we had used a calm, composed approach to guide it back on course, reinforcing mutual respect without creating unnecessary discomfort. After that day, Christina's interruptions became less frequent, and the conversations in our neighborhood felt more balanced. That simple, firm, but polite action had set a tone for better communication, and it reminded us how small gestures could transform the way we engage with one another. The power of handling interruptions thoughtfully not only ensures that everyone feels heard but also fosters stronger, more respectful relationships. This method proves especially effective in public settings, where managing disruptions with grace leaves a strong impression. Calm but unwavering demeanor is more powerful than raising your voice or resorting to confrontation. By staying composed, you shift the focus back to the topic and subtly guide the dynamic toward a more respectful tone. Key aspect of this approach lies in balance. The look you give should be steady and assured, not aggressive or threatening. Conveys resolve without creating conflict, setting a tone of maturity. This nuance often encourages the interrupter to reflect on their behavior and adjust accordingly, sparing you the need for further explanation. Beyond addressing the immediate situation, this strategy fosters a culture of respect. When you handle interruptions with tact and confidence, others observe and learn from your example. It's a way of setting an unspoken standard for how conversations should unfold, thoughtfully, attentively, and with mutual regard. Mastering the art of managing interruptions not only protects the integrity of your dialogue but also strengthens your communication skills. Each instance becomes an opportunity to demonstrate poise, redirect focus, and reinforce the value of listening. These small but meaningful actions leave a lasting impact, both on the conversation and on those participating in it. Third tip: when someone tries to humiliate you with a joke in a group, it can feel like the ground beneath you is shifting. Instead of reacting instantly, pause. Don't let their words catch you off guard. In that brief moment of stillness, you maintain control. Pretend you didn't hear the joke or that it didn't quite register. This subtle move signals that their attempt has no effect on you. Next, calmly turn your attention to the person who made the remark. Look them in the eye and ask, "Sorry, I didn't catch that." Could you say it again? This simple request does two things. First, it shows that you are unfazed. Second, it places the responsibility on them to repeat the joke, which can be uncomfortable. Power of repetition works against the person who tried to make you the target. A joke that might have been amusing the first time often loses its charm upon repetition. The humor tends to fade, and what once felt like a sharp barb turns into a dull reminder of their attempt to put you down. In that moment, you gain the upper hand. The situation shifts. What could have been a moment of discomfort for you becomes an awkward moment for them. They are forced to confront the very words they intended to use against you, and that moment of vulnerability can leave them feeling self-conscious. To stay calm and composed when faced with challenging situations like someone trying to humiliate you, a morning routine focused on mental clarity and emotional resilience can be very effective. Here are some daily practices to incorporate into your mornings. Mindful breathing. Start your day with 5 to 10 minutes of mindful breathing. Sit in a comfortable position, close your eyes, and take slow, deep breaths. Inhale through your nose for a count of 4, hold for 4, then exhale through your mouth for 4. This helps center your mind and body, preparing you to stay grounded in moments of stress. Positive affirmations. As you wake up, speak words of strength and self-worth to yourself. Affirmations like, "I am in control of my emotions," or "I remain calm and composed in all situations," can shift your mindset for the day. By repeating these affirmations, you remind yourself that you have the power to handle difficult moments with grace. Visualization. Take a few minutes to visualize yourself in a situation where someone might try to humiliate you. Picture yourself staying calm, breathing deeply, and responding with confidence. Imagine how powerful it feels to handle the situation without reacting emotionally. Visualization strengthens your ability to stay composed when faced with real-life challenges. Gratitude practice. Spend a few minutes each morning listing 3 things you're grateful for. This shifts your focus away from any potential negativity and helps you begin the day with a positive outlook. A gratitude practice reminds you of the good things in your life, creating a mindset of abundance and calm that helps you deal with challenges more easily. Body awareness. Engage in light stretching or yoga to help release any tension from your body. Pay attention to how you feel physically, noticing areas of tightness or discomfort. By becoming aware of your body's sensations, you can practice grounding yourself and managing physical tension, which often accompanies stressful emotions. Setting an intention. Before you begin your day, set a clear intention for how you want to react to challenges. For example, "I will stay calm and focused no matter what happens today," or "I will respond with kindness and confidence." Setting an intention helps you mentally prepare for potential challenges and reinforces your ability to remain composed. This approach not only diffuses the tension but also highlights the weakness in their attempt. They're not in control anymore. By asking them to repeat themselves, you demonstrate confidence and a clear disregard for their mockery. It's a way of turning the tables without saying a word in defense. You don't need to engage in confrontation to assert your strength. Quiet, confident response is often the most powerful. By staying calm and asking for repetition, you transform an uncomfortable situation into a small victory. This simple tactic shifts the power dynamic in your favor, leaving the joker with nothing but a fading punchline. 4th tip. When someone tries to provoke you or trigger anger, how should we respond? Instead of reacting impulsively, there's a powerful psychological technique that can completely shift the dynamics of the conversation. The key is to throw in a random, out-of-context question or comment, something that has nothing to do with what's happening at that moment. This tactic doesn't just redirect the flow, it can disarm the person trying to upset you. For instance, in the middle of a heated exchange, we could casually ask, "Do you know any good places to grab coffee around here?" Or make an offhand remark like, I think I might have overdone it with the perfume today. These comments may seem like a sudden change of topic, but they serve an important purpose. They disrupt the provocation before it gains any traction. What makes this method so effective is its ability to catch the other person off guard. The abrupt shift leaves them confused, often unsure of how to respond. Instead of continuing to push buttons, they're forced to pause and recalibrate. This momentary break gives us the opportunity to regain our composure and control the situation. Our best friend, Louisa, was one of those people who could light up a room the moment she entered. She had an infectious energy and a sharp wit, and everyone loved being around her. But like most people, Louisa had her triggers. One thing that often set her off was when people criticized her cooking. It didn't matter if the feedback was constructive or just a harmless joke. If someone said anything negative about her meals, she'd get defensive and the mood would shift. One evening, we were all at Louisa's house for a dinner party. She had spent hours in the kitchen preparing a beautiful spread of food. Her dishes were always delicious, and she prided herself on being a fantastic cook. We were seated around the table, chatting and laughing, when Greg, in his usual playful way, made a light-hearted comment about the spiciness of one of the dishes. "Wow, Louisa, this curry is a bit much. Are you trying to make us sweat?" he said, grinning. At first, it seemed like a harmless joke, but Louisa's face instantly changed. She didn't laugh, nor did she brush it off. Instead, her smile faded and her eyes narrowed slightly. "Well, maybe you just can't handle a little heat," she snapped. Tension in the air was palpable, and we all sensed it. Greg, not realizing the impact of his words, tried to laugh it off. "I'm just kidding, Louisa." "It's good, really," he said, but it was too late. Louisa was already on edge, and the conversation had shifted from light-hearted fun to something uncomfortable. I watched the situation unfold, knowing Louisa all too well. When she felt criticized, even in a joking manner, she would often escalate it into a full-blown defense. The last thing I wanted was for the evening to turn sour, so I decided to step in and try something I had recently read about. I would interrupt the growing tension with something completely random. I took a deep breath and casually asked, "Hey, does anyone know any good spots for hiking around here? I've been meaning to get outside more." Question was totally unrelated to anything that had been said. It wasn't about food, and it certainly wasn't about the conversation Louisa and Greg were having. For a second, there was an awkward silence. Louisa blinked, her frustration still visible, but the out-of-context question seemed to momentarily throw her off guard. Greg, too, was momentarily confused by the abrupt shift. He glanced around the table, unsure of how to react. Louisa, still a little tense, looked at me with a raised eyebrow. "Hiking," she said, her voice softer but still a little defensive. "What's that got to do with curry?" I smiled, keeping my tone casual. "Nothing, really. I was just thinking I need to get out more, you know? Clear my head." The key was to make the question sound like a random, almost casual thought, something that could have popped into my head without any intention behind it. The abruptness of the question, along with my calm delivery, seemed to have the desired effect. Louisa's frustration started to fade, and Greg, seeing the shift, jumped in with a light-hearted comment. "Hiking? That sounds great. Maybe I'll join you. Who knows, I could use a break from all the curry." Louisa laughed, the tension starting to melt away. Okay, I'll admit, maybe it was a little spicy," she said, the defensive edge in her voice gone. "But seriously, I could use a hike too. Let's do it." Conversation had shifted completely, from criticism of her cooking to a more relaxed and open topic. No one was upset anymore. The mood was lighter, and we were all back to enjoying the evening. That simple, out-of-context question had done exactly what I had hoped. broke the flow of provocation and allowed Louisa to step back from her defensive reaction. She had been caught off guard, and in that moment of confusion, she realized there was no need to continue defending herself. Tension was gone, and we were all able to move on with the evening in a much more relaxed atmosphere. Looking back, I realized just how powerful that technique had been. It wasn't about avoiding the conversation or making Louisa feel bad for being upset. It was about giving her the space to reset, to step out of the emotional cycle of defense. By inserting something completely unrelated, we had shifted the energy of the room and allowed everyone to regain their composure. It was a small thing, but it had a big impact. And from then on, I knew that sometimes the best way to handle a tense situation wasn't with confrontation or avoidance, but with a simple, unexpected question. The trick is to deliver the unexpected comment with complete naturalness. It's crucial that we don't sound like we're making a deliberate move to disrupt the conversation. Our tone should be calm and relaxed, as if we're simply sharing a fleeting thought. This helps prevent the other person from realizing we're using a technique to deflect the tension. By doing this, we not only interrupt the flow of provocation, but we also shift the power back to ourselves. This technique makes it harder for the other person to escalate the conflict, and it gives us the space to remain calm. When we take a step back from the emotional charge, we avoid being drawn into unnecessary drama. This psychological tool works because it allows us to regain control without confrontation. It's not about being evasive. It's about maintaining a sense of calm and redirecting the focus. Fifth and final tip. Have you ever been in a situation where someone continuously disrespects you? It's a challenging experience, but here's the truth. No one is obligated to respect you, but you are never obligated to tolerate disrespect. The moment you realize someone is unwilling to give you the respect you deserve, it's time to make a choice. Walking away is not a sign of weakness. It's a powerful act of self-preservation. It shows that you value yourself enough to remove yourself from a situation that harms you. Staying in a place where you're not appreciated can drain your energy and diminish your confidence. By leaving, you choose your peace over the chaos of disrespect. There's strength in knowing when to let go. Sometimes the best way to protect your peace is to walk away from toxic relationships. It doesn't matter if it's family, friends, or colleagues. If someone consistently disrespects you, stepping away is often the most empowering choice you can make. Your worth should never be tied to someone's ability to appreciate you. When we walk away, it isn't about admitting defeat, it's about reclaiming our power. It's saying that we'd rather be absent and valued than present and devalued. It's recognizing that respect is earned, and we don't have to tolerate disrespect from anyone. By choosing to leave, we take control of the situation and protect our mental and emotional well-being. To avoid situations where you feel disrespected, consider practicing these daily habits. 1. Start your day with self-affirmation. Begin each day by reminding yourself of your worth. A simple affirmation like, "I deserve respect and kindness," can set the tone for how you expect to be treated throughout the day. The more you internalize your value, the less likely you are to tolerate disrespect from others. 2. Practice healthy boundaries. Every day, consciously establish and reinforce your personal boundaries. Know what behavior is acceptable and what isn't, and make it a habit to express those limits clearly when needed. Being consistent about boundaries reduces the chance of others testing them. 3. Communicate clearly and calmly. Work on communicating your thoughts and feelings assertively without aggression or passivity. When you express yourself in a calm and clear manner, people are more likely to respond with respect. Practice active listening as well to show respect for others, which often leads to mutual respect. 4. Choose positive relationships. Make a conscious effort each day to surround yourself with people who uplift and support you. Limit your interactions with individuals who constantly bring negativity or disrespect into your life. Nurture those relationships where mutual respect and appreciation are present. 5. Stand firm and say no. Practice saying no when something feels wrong or makes you uncomfortable. It doesn't have to be a confrontation, just a firm statement of your needs. Learning to say no without guilt builds self-respect and discourages others from taking advantage of your time and energy. 6. Self-reflection at night. Take a few minutes at the end of each day to reflect on your interactions. Did someone disrespect you? How did you respond? This reflection helps you become more aware of situations where boundaries were crossed, so you can adjust your reactions in the future and take action when needed. By integrating these practices into your daily life, you create a strong foundation for protecting your emotional and mental well-being. Setting clear boundaries, communicating with confidence, and prioritizing relationships that value you will reduce the likelihood of encountering disrespectful behavior. Have you ever faced this kind of challenge? How did you handle it? Walking away isn't easy, but sometimes it's necessary for growth. Share your story with us in the comments. We'd love to hear how you handled similar situations and what it taught you about your own worth. Thank you for watching. We hope this video has inspired you to stand firm in your boundaries. Remember, you deserve respect, and walking away from disrespect is often the first step towards healing. See you in the next video.